Well, exotic drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Kush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. Oh, where's my music? Oh, well. Oh, dang. Welcome, everybody, to Dr. Kush's Exotic Drinks. I am, of course, Dr. Kush. We are here today to deal with my ever-growing need to absolutely beat a subject to literal death. We are on our last day of a couple things. Last day of summer. Do you remember? The 21st day of September? That is today. My earth, wind, and fire friends, all my elemental friends really, are very interested in the last day of September because it is the last day of summer. We are heading into no more summer, which means that this will be the final day before we begin the fall of the fizz, or the fizz fall, or whatever we're calling it, the fall of fizz. Let's just call it that. Fall of fizz, or fizz fall. We are also going to finally put the Falernum to rest. We have been dealing with Falernum now, I feel like, for a week. I feel like we've been dealing with Falernum for a week. At least, probably longer than a week. And so we are going to finally put it to rest. We're going to talk a little bit about what Falernum do. We're going to talk a little bit about, the bourgeoisiness, the bouginess of some Falernums versus other Falernums. And we are also going to try and finally replicate this guy right here. This is Velvet Falernum. And in all of my searching thus far, I have yet to find another Falernum recipe that comes in, if not completely clear, at least pretty clear. We are going to try and get from one of our homemade Falernums, we are going to try our very best to make a velvety Falernum using this. This is not important. We're going to be using a lot of other things, but that just happened to be sitting on the bar. We are so close to getting the VIP room back and open. I had a couple of you in here today. It drove me absolutely crazy that I can hear an echo of myself, and so we're not going to do it yet, but soon we will have the ability to bring everybody back into the guest, and then I can finally get rid of Restream.io, the worst scam in restreaming that there is. Sorry, guys. You guys did a horrible thing. And we will also then be able to have live guests. I have a couple of them lined up. We're just waiting for the final thing till all the bugs are worked out. Speaking of bugs, they're on now. The lanterns are on now. Speaking of bugs, let's not talk about bugs anymore. Let's talk about you guys instead. Let me say hello to Bon Bon. She was just in the VIP room. Hot diggity dog. Another Falernum off. So mini Falernum off. We are going to see if we can make. In fact, this is the Falernum that Bon Bon made. I made a whole nother batch of it today just so that we can go through and see if we can't clarify it. We're going to be using milk clarification today. The one problem, well, we'll get into the whole thing. Dr. Kush, we can never get enough of Falernum. Hopefully after today you do, Moose. Hopefully after today you are done with Falernum, because I have to eventually be done with Falernum. My house cannot smell like Falernum all the time, and then the bar cannot be housing thousands of bottles of Falernum. It's just not going to happen. So hopefully after this, you're done. Let me say hello to Tiki Tom Hubbard, who brought us a very close thing to Charybdon. It also has my mind erasing. We're going to figure that out as well. Tiki Tom drinking a little whiskey. Love the whiskey, people. I got in touch with the This Is My Whiskey podcast. This is my bourbon podcast. TIMBP. And we are going to find a day that we can all hang out. Hopefully you guys all went and subscribed over there. Seems like a good fella. Named, maybe he doesn't want me to give his name. Bon Bon's still here. Cheers to Cocktail Lulu. Hello, Cocktail Lulu. Cheers and happy Saturday to you as well. Let's see. Shawnee Panabaker, good evening. Cyrus. Oh, good. Cyrus made. I didn't even see Cyrus. Let's give Cyrus his. I know he likes something.
Tiki, 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 taka, taka, ta, tiki, tiki, nueve, ratatata.
Cheers to you, Cyrus. UF Mark. I was watching the Gators today. I think they won. I was too nervous about another game, which never actually happened. They never actually even played my game. I blocked it out. Jay Carter, party starter. Bow, 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 bow. Good to see you, pal. DC Debbie Clark, winner of the 2023 Kush Dougie Derby. Dougie G, the creator of the new and improved Battle Box 2.0. I don't think we're going to be using that today, but soon again. This is my brother Grant, the heel of the show. Good to see you, buddy. Kyle, very excited about Grant. If there's one thing Kyle likes, it's Tammy. Just also, two things can be said in the same sentence. They don't have to be always combining each other. Dougie G, bring out the clarification. We're going to. Better get ready for it. Susan Lang is here. Cheers to the Cushies. Oh, Amy Beer is here. Hello to Amy Beer as well. My goodness, these are getting long. Okay, you're very welcome, Cyrus, anytime. I think let's give Cyrus his one more. I think he has this one. Yippee! There we go. And let me say hello to our good friend, our new friend. Maybe just new to the chat. That is our good friend, Roger. UF played a great game, and we played... hey, UF Mark, great game today, and we played a horrible game. Uh-oh. Oh, was it a UI? College football, baby, let's go. Unfortunately, the Trojans did not play today. So we cannot count anything that the Trojans did today, the USC Trojans. Turns out it just doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter, and life is pointless, and let's have a drink. Freaking Falernum. Okay, so some of you in the chat have been... Oh, Mississippi State. That's right. I was watching that. The Rebels. They were playing the Rebels. Gators were playing the Rebels today, and the Gators seem to be playing very well. Now I remember everything. Not everything. Everything after 12:30 my time. Complete blur. Falernum. Okay, we have been trying to pinpoint Falernum for quite some time, right? So our good friend Dr. Taco brought up Richard Seal recently, so I went on a little journey. On a little journey. Just walked my little butt across a number of podcasts and a number of articles and a number of things that I could find. Now, Richard Seal, who runs Foursquare Rum, or he deals with Foursquare, whatever he's up to. A super famous bartender guy, Richard Seal. Anyway, he did an amazing podcast. If you want to listen to it, I'll tell you exactly what it's called. I was just listening to it moments ago. It is called, it's on Dorley's UK, Barbados and Falernum, A History with Richard Seal. Now, I highly recommend in this one a skip to the 10-minute mark, because the audio in the first part is ridiculous. It's very bad. There's an internet problem. Anyway, I'm not the only one that has internet problems, it turns out. I'm not the only one that has streaming problems. Anyway, in this, he talks about how he isn't really interested in how bartenders are remaking Falernum for the day. Not that he's not interested, but his area of study is old-timey Falernum, right? He wants to find these old-timey Barbadian from the 1700s. He wants to find that type of Falernum, right? He's not knocking newer versions of Falernum. Obviously, as we start to grow, as bartenders get more advanced, better tools, vaporometers and plasticidometers and flingly flangly flues, all these fun things that bartenders have at some point will begin, if we're not progressing forward with what we're learning, well, then the drinks are going to stay the same. They're going to get boring. That's how the whole cocktail came about. We didn't want to just drink the old-fashioned. The old-fashioned is a great drink. We want to go study the old-fashioned, we'll study the old-fashioned, but then we can start to study all these other things. Anyway, so what I've learned in listening to this, and what I've sort of always known in my heart of hearts, is that some people will prefer the old stuff and some people will like the new stuff, and nary the two shall meet, and it is always going to be completely up to you on what you are going to drink. However, as somebody that likes to absolutely fill up at least the first 10 minutes of my classes with some history, I don't just, very rarely do I just say, hey guys, we're just making a drink today. Don't even worry about where it's from. I usually try and give you like at least a little bit. I like that stuff. So we are going to try and honor as much as we can the history of John D. Taylor's Falernum. Now this stuff is, as far as Richard Seal is concerned, and hey Bootopia. Sorry, I don't know why that came up. Richard Seal, as far as I can tell, is one of the leading voices in Falernum. I mean, this dude, listen, you know how I'm kind of a pervert about ice? I stare at it. I'm like always making it. Every once in a while, I just jump up from my couch and run to wherever I'm going because my ice has been cooking long enough. You know how like I'm a pervert about that? It seems like Richard Seal might have that same perversion for Falernum, and I love it. The dude studies. He knows about it. He can talk about it on length. He is out there making his own Falernum, 4 square rum. He made his own Falernum for a long time until these guys came about. Eventually, 4 Square Rum bought out or I guess got the rights. I don't know, what do you call it? They obtained John D. Taylor's Falernum, which is coming from like the 1890s. 1890s. I just pulled that number right out of there. It doesn't say it on the back of the bottle. Don't worry about it. Anyway, they bring this up and he looks around to all his friends and he says, guys, take a knee. They all take a knee. They get to the press conference. They're like, listen, we tried. All right, we really tried. We were up 24-20 with like 4 minutes left. It seemed like we were going to win. And unfortunately, at the last second, they'd been running the ball down our throats all day, but we've been able to stop them at the very last minute. They just ran for 41 yards, put them into field goal position, put them into a scoring position. And unfortunately, we were unable to hang. And thus, it's a very specific example. And thus, they stopped making 4 Square Falernum, and they just started making Velvet Falernum because, as they say, it is the most authentic. It's the most authentic version of Falernum. Is that always the best? It is not always the best. It is certainly not always the best. Is it, however, the most authentic? It's the oldest. It is the oldest. We don't know if somebody at some point accidentally, anybody ever see the movie or the TV show The Expanse or read The Expanse? There's something in there. I think it's called the Schwartz Drive, or it's some name like that. The Schwartz Drive, where some dude was just tinkering around with an engine and suddenly, out of nowhere, created faster than light travel. He wasn't trying to create faster than light travel. He just accidentally discovered faster than light travel, which was able to give us access to go from Earth to the belt, and that's where we get to Beltas. That's a Belter accent, and you should watch The Expanse. It's a great show, really good book, series of books. The Beltalora. Anyway, that gave us the ability to go out there. He just came upon it. We don't know whether or not some bartender somewhere has accidentally come across the actual recipe for older, more authentic versions of Falernum at some point. We don't know that. We don't have, there's no way. Schwartz Drive. Thank you. The Schwartz Drive. Yeah, Schwartz Drive. Inflating Expanse and Spaceballs. Yes, listen. Keep firing, assholes. Okay. Anyway, we don't know. So it's very difficult to say one of these is better than the other. It's very difficult to say that this is the only way to make authentic Falernum. There's no way to say it. Somebody could have accidentally done it. However, this one has been being consistently made since 1890. Even though it was tough to find there for a little while, this stuff has been being made. This is the first commercially available version of Falernum, and thus it has to have a space somewhere within our pantheon. Every single island, every single plantation made their own Falernum. Some people think, if we can we just do, I don't have a lot of material tonight, so there's gonna be a lot of talking, not a lot of like mixing tonight. Some people think that the word Falernum came from like a Roman situation, Falernum wine. I didn't really get deep into that. I like the other one. Some people think that it came from people talking in a Barbadian accent. I'm going to do my very best, but it's going to be horrible. Where they would say, "What is this?" They'd say, "Half to Falernum, half to Falernum, half to Falernum, half to Falernum, half to Falernum." It's horrible. Have to find out yourself, or you have to figure it out. It was a whole situation. Have to figure it out. You'll have to figure it out. You have to find out. You have to find out. Have to Falernum. Have to Falernum. Falernum. Is that true? Not with my accent. It's not true. Anyway, basically every place made their own Falernum. So that, I believe, gives us carte blanche to go out and make our own Falernums. However, this is the oldest. The problem with this one always is this. Every other Falernum, I have them all back here. I got this guy, I got this guy, I got this guy. We have so many other Falernums that we have made, and they are all of a deep, different color. This one comes in a little green. This one is in a green bottle, and so is this one. Hard to tell. Trust me, they're darker. So how then are we... Let me talk in the microphone. How then are we going to get our Falernum to be this color? And also, what the hell is this word doing on here? The only real place that I could find velvet Falernum, if I'm wrong, please send it to me. Velvet Falernum, it's on John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum. And I happen to know that at the same time John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum was being made, there was another thing being made, and that is milk punch. Milk punch, brandy milk punch, whiskey milk punch, gin milk, all kinds of milk punches. Well, what's the thing that everybody describes the milk punch as having the flavor of or having the texture of? Velvet. Hey! So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making we made a second batch of the Cocktail Dudes Falernum, the one that I thought worked best in the cocktails, and we are going to be making it into a milk punch, basically. So hold on to your hats. That's what we're up to. Let me just real quick, if I can, I don't always get to say this, but if you're over on Instagram, pop on over to Facebook. I can't, the only outlet that I can't see these guys, these little comments like this, these comments is from Instagram. So please pop over to Facebook, or please pop over to YouTube. Don't do Facebook. Pop over to YouTube and say hello. I spent about 15 minutes cooking and 2 hours waiting for this to cool down in order to make a half batch of the Cocktail Dudes Falernum. If you want to know how to make that, you can either, I'd like it if you go watch my channel, but probably better, just go watch the Cocktail Dudes. I don't want to steal their views, but we are going to be velveting their stuff. So we're going to be adding a second layer onto their stuff. But this is a very nice and pretty simple to make Falernum. And we want to now take this Falernum and turn it into this. We want to take this, and we want to turn it into this. And then we're going to be making a Falernum cocktail that will hopefully be pretty clear. And we're calling it, but we're not calling it anything. It's been around for a while, called the Royal Yacht Club. The Royal Yacht Club. So get ready. Let's get to clarifying. How deep are we in? 20 minutes. Oh gosh, I don't think I talked long enough. Here we go. Let's get into clarifying. Clarification has been around for a long, long time. It's been around for a long, it seems like just because dudes that look like me with the short on the side and the tall on the head and the beard, this is a look. This is what a bartender looks like, folks. Just because it seems like it's only us doing that, that maybe it's a new thing that somebody just found out about. It is not. It's been around for a long, long time. And one of the reasons that it exists at all is in order to preserve. All right. I happen to know the ABV on this, not just out of memorization, but because I usually know where to look. This says 11% alcohol by volume. 11% is not normally long enough, or not normally high enough. 22 proof is not normally high enough to let something be shelf stable. But I have had bottles of Falernum last me years and years without ever going bad. Milk punch is shelf stable. I have one right here. This is a milk punch. It has been with me now. It has been with me now for about 6 years. It is with inside of this there is iced tea. There are 3 different types of cheeses. Let me just smell this to make sure that that's what we got. Yes, pungent, but it hasn't gone bad. 3 different types of cheeses. I made it in order to make a golf cocktail for the Masters. At the Masters, they sell like a pimento cheese sandwich. That's what that tastes like. Tastes like that pimento cheese sandwich. There's also pimentos in there. Milk punching absolutely will help to preserve things, which is how another one of the mysteries of Velvet Falernum is going to be solved. This stuff is 22 proof. Not high enough to be preserved. So let's milk punch some Falernum and see if we can't get that velvet into it. When we milk punch, we want to take, this is my milk of choice right here, is vitamin D milk, so whole milk. Some people will say you need like milk, like heavy cream. Some people will swear by skim milk. I like just vitamin D, like the whole milk. That's the way I go with it. Nice and simple. Now, because we are taking something that is already made here, there's no recipe to make this into a milk punch. We are just going to go with a pretty standard ratio to it, which is 1 part milk to 4 parts cocktail. I happen to know that I have exactly 16 ounces in this guy. Let's move to this camera. I happen to know that I have exactly 16 ounces of cocktail in here. So we need 4 ounces to go in here. Now this is where we're going to be mixing everything, as in this guy. And one thing that's incredibly important when you are milk clarifying anything, there are 2 things. We'll get to the first one first. Pour the mixture into the milk. Do not pour the milk into the mixture. All right? Pour the mixture into the milk, not the milk into the mixture. So we're going to be putting in 4 ounces of our, there we go. 4 ounces of our stuff. Now, the way that we have made this already, put this away. The way that we have made this already, the cocktail guy stuff, the cocktail dude stuff, does not have a fairly key ingredient into milk clarification, and that is juice. That is lime juice, lemon juice. So because we made a half batch today, we are going to take these lemons and limes. I took 2 limes and 1 lemon, and we're going to use the juice from there. Now, if you are not milk clarifying this, you're going to want to not put this stuff in here. It is going to be important to you that you do not put any juices in there, because juices is what makes this go bad. All right, we don't want that. So we're going to take the juice. Uh-oh. We're going to have to use a different knife. Another knife is gone. Uh-oh. Kyle, I can't just rip these things apart. Where's my ice knife? I have no knife back here. Kyle, I'm going to need a knife. Just whenever you get a chance, I'm going to need a knife, buddy. I don't know how that happens. It's very embarrassing, and it really makes the bar seem like it's run by a clown. And unfortunately, honk honk, I am that clown. Ah, there he comes. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Good work, pal. Always a pleasure, never a chore. We're going to squeeze these limes into here. Let's just cut them all. Squeeze these limes in here. I repeat. Yes, Dougie G. Chemistry. Acid into base, never the other way around. That's exactly right. That's what we want. We want the acid into the base, never the other way around. I didn't know that that was a chemistry thing. I thought that was just a bartender thing. Because we clearly recently did a big bar clean and now none of our tools are back here, we're going to use this hilariously large thing here. And we're just going to squeeze all of the juice from the limes and lemons that we've already put into the Cocktail Dudes version of the Falernum. That's going to add, obviously, some sourness to it, but there's already lime in here from the outside of the limes that we have peeled and the peels of the lemon that we have peeled. So we're in a good spot, and when we add this to the milk, a lot of that lime flavor from the juice is going to go the way of the buffalo. We want to give this a nice shake. Make sure that all of that lime juice is mixed in there. And just for a little good measure, just because this usually helps to sort of move things along a touch, a very small touch of some citric acid. Now, you do not have to put citric acid in here. That is just for those of us that are trying to be insane about it. I'm going to put a tiny little bar spoon, very, very small. Let me just show you exactly what we got here. We got this much. For what we're doing, we want about that much of the, let's do overhead cam so we can really see what we're talking about. About that much citric acid. All right. Throw this here. Put this in here. Excellent. So that citrus, I'm sure one of you clearly very smart chemists and whatnot in my audience will be able to tell me exactly what's going on. I cannot. All I know is that it works. So the citrus in here is meant to go into this milk and curdle the milk, separating the curdles from the whey, which will stay with our falernum here. It will also attach itself to any of the, I want to use the word free radicals so badly, but I don't know what that means. I've just heard it said before. It's going to attach itself to all the solids that are in this thing, and it's going to then be, when we filter it out, all of those solids and a lot of those colors are going to be pulled out of this, and that's what we want. Now, we are going to take our, we'll take that same spoon, I guess. Here it is. We're going to take our spoon. We are going to, just in case anybody wondered, curds are curdles and wheys are called wheydles. So just in case you were wondering, in case you thought maybe they weren't called wheydles, I think Kyle has looked it up, and they are called wheydles. Curds and wheydles. We're going to go ahead and pour this in. Now, don't pour this in and start stirring really fast, all right? We want the large curds to stick around, all right? So nice and slow, but make sure that it's touching everything else. So here we go. We're going to pour this in. And that should, if we have done it right, should start to curdle. Pretty good. Yeah, there's them curdles. We can start to see the curds on the bottom really start to go. All of that whey is starting to process out. I do want to say out loud, I've never done this before, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but I think there's a theory going on. We'll get that going. There we go. Now the idea here is to not disturb the curdles a ton, but to move the curdles or the wheydles, but to move this about so that it touches everything. So that all of these little curds and curdles in here have touched all of the lemon and the lime juice that we have in. And we get these large, let's bring in this camera right here so you guys can see a little better. All of this stuff. See all of that stuff? That's gold for this. This is, it seems gross, but really all of this stuff right up here, that's cheese. That's just cheese. So if you're a fan of cheese, this is cheese. Now, would I recommend eating this cheese from here? Probably not. I don't think I would. But some people, my co-host Tammy, she's done it on camera. Looked gross, disgusting, ew. Didn't care for it. Anyway, okay, we're gonna let this sit for a minute, and then we are going to filter this through. Now, there are lots of ways to filter through. I have done this many, many times. I had a lot of milk punches. Listen, I was a bartender. I was the head of beverage for a large bar company in the 2000s and 2010s. That was a big time. That was a huge time for bartenders to have their own milk punch. I had multiple milk punches. I loved them. They were so easy because you made them before. You could have a bar back make them, and then you would only have to pour in. I used coffee filters for a long, long time. I have come to the conclusion that coffee filters are not the best way to do this. The best way to do it is to get a normal paper towel like this, fold it so that it fits into a pour over coffee business. A pour over coffee, like, what would you even call this thing? It's a thing. Just get one of these things. See what this is? Look for pour over coffee, but don't use a coffee filter. It doesn't work as well. And then we are going to pour back into the bottle that I have misplaced. Oh, right here. We're gonna pour this back into the bottle. Now, unfortunately, I don't have all the equipment. Yeah, pour over. Just find a pour over. Find a pour over. We're gonna have to put this here, and we're going to have to delicately balance this dripping. Now, I told you there was a second thing, right? First thing, pour the acid into the base. Pour the cocktail into the milk. That's one thing. Two things. Do not change your filter. One filter. The first milk, or the first bit of this punch is going to go through it pretty quickly. That's a problem. That's a problem. You want it to go slow. And the best filter for milk punches is going to be the curdles of the previously filtered milk punch. That is the way. That's the way you want. Dougie J wants to know what can possibly go wrong with this stack up. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Listen, a little bit of a little suspense. What we're looking for. All you guys need to worry about is what's coming in down this way, and I'll be pouring up here. So we're gonna pour this nice and slow, so that of course we don't knock anything over. It's coming in really hard, really thick. It's clumping, but we can already see that is much clearer than the first time we came upon it. Now, unfortunately, we do have to let this sort of pour through. It's these first little bits that aren't being filtered by the curds. They're going to be an issue. All right. So once we get kind of a, let's bring this up here. Once we get kind of this buildup going up here, we're going to take this bit out. Let's find a better one. This bit out. So you can do that probably pretty quick. We're going to move this over here for just a moment. Put that here. We're going to take this and pour it back into our bottle. All right. Because that is going to be the cloudiest stuff we got. Now that we're starting to build up sorry, I got to get all these things right. There we go. Now that we're starting to build up this curd up here, now the curds are doing their business. They're doing what they're meant to do, which is filter out the rest of the curds and make it into whey. Will it work over here? Yeah, good. Let's give it a little context. There we go. Just a touch of context. All right, so that is now going to take a little bit of time, but I do want to say, all freaking ready, we are looking pretty clear. I mean, there's liquid on the bottom of that. That is looking pretty clear. Guys, it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute. But what we're going to be left with at the end of this is very cool. It is going to be a velvety, clear, shelf-stable Falernum, right? So the problem that we had earlier with the Cocktail Dudes and Bonbons version of Falernum, their Falernum, is that it wasn't shelf-stable. They told us 6 months. Now, apparently Bonbon, we've learned, puts hers in the freezer. It never freezes, so it stays around for forever. That's great. That's cool. I do not have freezer space anymore. I make so much of that ice, and I have such large instrumentation for ice. I don't have places to put that. However, if we are able to filter out everything that could possibly go wrong from a Falernum by using milk punching, well, we should be in a good spot. I just want to show you guys real quick how very similar already this is looking to this. I mean, this and this are the same color. This and this are the same color. I have a feeling that the reason that we even, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somewhere on the internet, or maybe somewhere in some book, there is somebody that's saying it's definitely milk washing, absolutely 100%. I don't know why anybody's even talked about this, but it isn't. I couldn't find it. There had to be a small bit of divine inspiration for me to understand that the reason that this Falernum is shelf-stable, this Falernum is shelf-stable and clear, is they have milk washed it. And it gives you a velvety flavor. I feel like sometimes I'm solving tiny mysteries and really treating them like Scooby-Doo stories. This is kind of how I'm feeling with this, but as I watch this drip into here, I really do feel like I have solved Falernum. Is this the most accurate Falernum? Is this the most authentic Falernum? I don't know. I don't know what the most accurate Falernum is, but we cannot say that this isn't at least much closer than anything that we have dealt with so far when we are trying to get close to John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum. Now, I'm just going to pour a little bit more into here. We got to let this drop because we're going to be making the same cocktail twice. One with the John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum and one with our new The Cocktail Dudes and Bonbons version of Falernum, the winner of Dr. Kush's Exotic Falernum off. We're going to be making the same cocktail, the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. We're making that together to see if it's the same. We're at 40 minutes. Okay, good. So we've cut this into 3 different sections, 20 minutes apiece. 20 minutes was just me talking crazy. 20 minutes was me acting out. And then the next 20 minutes will be making the cocktail. I think we have plenty here. That is the same. This is the same. It looks the exact same as Velvet Falernum. Let's just bring it in. Those are brothers right here. If we put our hands behind both of them, those are the exact same color. Let's put a white cloth behind them so you guys can see. Look at that. Frickin' look at that. All we had to do was milk wash the Falernum that we made at home, and now we have Velvet Falernum. We are doing great. Okay. Let's pour a little bit of this out so that I have some to use. What's a good way to do that, do you think? We don't need much. We're just gonna, for a moment, transfer this back over here. We're gonna pour out our Velvet Falernum right here, our own Velvet Falernum right there. And then we will let the rest of this do the talking over here. Put this up here. Excellent. Stayed out. Okay, so that's still in the shot here, but it's out of the shot here. It is out of the shot here, but it's also in the shot. Oh, right there. Perfect. Okay. We have our Velvet Falernum. We only need a 3/4 of an ounce. I feel like we got it here. This stuff can go right over here. Don't want to spill that. That is disgustingness. Milky, curdy stuff. Okay, let's get into the Royal Bermuda Yacht Club. A pretty simple cocktail. I don't have all of the... oh, sorry, there's some questions. Oh, first of all, sorry. Hello, Bootopia. Give me 1 second. Let me just say hello real quick to our good friend, the Low Carb Cocktail Guy. Cannot wait to see the low carb version. Low Carb Cocktail Guy. Billions of views you're about to get. The low carb version of Velvet Falernum. Velvet Falernum is so sweet. If you can make the low carb version of this stuff, listen, you're going to be basically, is Mr. Beast still number one? It would be Mr. Beast. I feel like we're going to all know the Low Carb Cocktail Guy. Not in the weird stuff that he's up to right now, but, you know, just in like the popular way. We wish you luck to our good friend, Frank. Oh, and thanks for sending Sean our way. We got to meet Sean the other day. Oh, let's just smell the two. Not exactly. Obviously, we'll have to adjust some things if you want it exact, but for velvetiness, it's going to be very difficult to beat that. Okay, let's make these. We're going to make 2 of them. Why don't we just make the one, and then we'll add the 2 different Falernums to them at the same time. That way I don't have to use 2 different tins. That's an old lazy person's trick. Not really a bartender trick, just a super lazy guy. We need 3/4 of an ounce of lime. Squeezing by hand the hard way. Oh, I forgot to answer questions. Sorry. Let me get these questions answered real quick. There was some that I definitely know that I cannot answer. Its secret would still be safe if it wasn't for that meddling doctor. That's exactly right. I have Scooby-Doo this. Question, is the lactose in the curd the whey or both? I have no idea. Bootopia. Moves particles in the cocktail. The milk breaks into curds and whey. When citrus strains out the protein, the whey, okay, activates when shaken in a cocktail with rich plenary tenders. AI says all of the above. Okay, so whey has lactose and the curd says too. So sorry. Hello. Hi, Bootopia. Cheers to you, pal. Thank you for all of this. Yeah, so I guess if you are lactose intolerant, this might not be the way to go. Although Tiki Tom does say it's in the way. The Wadles. So we'll never, to be honest, I don't know. I am not lactose intolerant from what I can understand. Although, you know, as I get older, I do feel like maybe I'm getting less tolerant. Not intolerant, but you know, does it have to be everywhere? Squeeze this lime. Like I said, 3/4 of an ounce of some lime juice. That's what we're looking for. That's going to be about 1.5 ounces of lime. Probably not. Let's just cut one more. We're only making 1 cocktail tonight, and other than that, we're really... Oh, I have a cutting board. There we go. Squeeze these up. I went and bought a big bag of limes the other day at Costco, and they were awesome. I just want to... I think we talk about Costco probably enough, but I don't think we talk about it too much, because it seems like most of the stuff that I get from Costco always seems to be awesome. The limes were great. They were juicy. They were lovely. This next bag of limes that I just bought was from Kroger. We call it Ralph's out here, and it was not good. They are not good. We need 3/4 of an ounce of some of this guy. This is triple sec. You can use triple sec or orange curacao, something. I want to keep this kind of light. Because we're making a clear Falernum, so there's no reason to then go muddy everything up. We need 3/4 of an ounce of some triple sec. We need 2 ounces of a rum. Now I recently went to a place called the Bevmo. No, not Bevmo. What's the other one? Total Wines. Total Wines. And the guy at the front was telling me that this was a fine rum. It was like $9 for a handle. I thought, you can't beat that. Not with a stick. The guy lied to me a little bit. It's not a great rum. In fact, it's not a good rum. It's fine. If you're going to be switching between this and Bacardi, in a cocktail, tit for tat. So we're gonna just go ahead and put in, let's put in 2 ounces of a white rum. That's not the real Royal, the Bohemian Royal Yacht Club. That's not the real one. It's not the real version of this cocktail. But you want a dark rum for that. But we're gonna be putting in a white rum because everything else is so clear. We want to keep it clear. I'm making 2, so we can taste the difference. We'll give this a shake. There. Lots of ice. Utopia says Kirkland rules. Couldn't agree more. Kirkland rules. In the Midwest, Mayor seems to have the best lines. Mayor. I know somebody that works for Mayor. Or at least I did for a little bit. If they'd like to announce themselves, they're more than welcome to. Give this a shake. Nice and calm because I have the Leaning Tower of Curdles over here. We'll grab 2 glasses. Do I have 2 glasses? I have 1 glass. Oh, great. Well, would have been different things. We will, that way we know exactly what we're up to. Move this. We'll put, I don't know why this paper towel's out here all of a sudden. Put this in here. We'll pour a little bit into here. I probably should measure it. That way we're definitely on point. But basically what we have is an orange daiquiri going in here. Not exactly, but pretty darn close. There we go. Excellent. Okay. 2 cocktails that are the exact same thing. They're just poured in different vessels. What he means is, I'm your mayor voice. Oh, that's what I mean. Oh, this is my this is my wife and also my producer. And if you hear commercials for Mayor, if you're ever listening to the radio, and I don't know who's listening to the radio, I listened to it today. I forget why. It seemed like there was a game on, but I didn't really pay attention to any games today. But if you ever listen to the radio and you listen to a Mayor commercial, that's my producer. She does all the voices for that, all the voiceover for that. We're gonna go ahead and put in. It's Meyer. Meyer. I know that. Meyer. I know that. I've heard that. Put in 3/4 of an ounce of whatever Falernum you're using. We're gonna be using our homemade velvet Falernum first. It's 3/4 of an ounce, and 3/4 of an ounce of the velvet Falernum from John D. Taylor. Right there. And we'll serve these without ice. Just give them a taste. I have a good straw here. There we go. Let's give them a taste. See what we did. Very nice. Easy. Falernum. I want to say, I know that because I've spent a lot of time doing this today, more Falernum taste in this. You're getting more Falernum bang for your buck when you are using the homemade Falernum, but you are doing it in the velvet style. Now, I do think it's also important that we taste them together. Jen is adorable. Thank you. Listen, she's the greatest. How much time do we have? Okay, we got 10 minutes. Whew. We're doing just fine. Let's continue on our little tests. I want to try them both. Now, I know that we should normally be doing this in a battle box situation so I can tell the difference. I think that I'll be able to tell the difference. I really think that I will be able to tell the difference between the two. So I am not going to, I'm not going to give a hoot about doing that. We're going to go ahead and pour this into here. This is just a little bit of our homemade velvety Falernum. It pours a little slower. It pours a little slower than the non-velvety one. We're gonna pull this out. I don't want to waste one of those. That's all I have. Okay, Kyle's gonna kill me. Kyle, nothing more Kyle hates than washing the Glencairn glasses, but unfortunately, it's the last one I got. We're gonna go ahead and pour this right in here. You know what? Since we're doing it, easier to wash them both. Okay, let's just take a look at these. Let's do a little taste test. And then I will allow you guys to get on the road. All right, what we have here is a mess. This is all a mess. All right, let's take a look at these. So this is the Velvet Falernum. This is the one that we made at home and did. To be fair, we only did one pass of the filtering with the milk filtering. We could probably get away with put this up there. We could probably get away with another pass of this and make it clearer. Absolutely, we certainly could. Also, when you're doing it in large quantities, you can usually get it a little clearer in one pass. We're doing it bottle by bottle, which is going to be tougher to get a real clear stuff. So we can definitely tell this one has a little bit more yellow. This is a little bit more. It's a little less clear, a little less whatever. This one right here is our Velvet Falernum. That is John D. Taylor's. Very clear, especially in this format. Let's give them both a smell. I know what John D. Taylor smells like. It's limey, almondy, clovey. It's got all the flavors. Let's get this guy in here. Now this smells of almonds. This smells of clove. There is certainly some lime in here. The issue I think that we'll run into with this one is the lime is a little muted. The lime is a little muted. I believe that if we were to go to, if we were to redo this, and I promise you we're done with our Falernum at this point. If we're gonna ever redo this, we will put more lime in there. It'll give us bigger curdles. It'll pull out more of the stuff, but it'll also give us more lime juice. I think if you really want to, you can probably, if you want to cheat just a touch of citric acid, in there would be just fine. Let's give them a taste. Very sweet, very limey. We're missing some of those other flavors. However, as I learned listening to Richard Seal, the original Falernums the original Falernums were probably mostly lime, sugar, and rum. So lime is very important. So this one gets the most lime in there probably means that it is a little closer to the early Falernums. However, let's see what we got here. Now, this definitely has a velvety mouthfeel. It definitely coats your mouth. Feels like you're drinking some milk. Without the actual milk in there. Let's see how we do here. Oh. When you sip this one, it is, you know what? I take it back. This one, first thing that hits you is a bunch of lime. Tons of lime. Almost, there's that Fruit Loops cereal. You know how Fruit Loops, like, just there's an overarching feeling of a little bit of lime juice? Good lime juice. Feeling in here. Nice and sweet without being too sweet, but also a lot of other characters. Things like almonds, ginger, Falernum, obviously it is Falernum, clove. Did I say allspice? I must have. But if I have an allspice, I'm getting all that stuff from the original Falernum without doing it. Now let's try some of the first Falernum. Sorry, Kyle. If we're doing a taste test, we got to do the whole thing. So we're going to pour in, this is the original Falernum, what we had at the beginning. This right here became this through milk washing. What we're looking for is obviously the velvetiness. We're looking for all those other flavors. Right off the top, I smell a ton of lime. Ooh, okay. This is strong. With this one, I get less lime. I get a lot of the winter fruits, a lot of the winter spices, a lot of that going on in this one. This one, not as much. I can see that these are probably close to the same, but this one, when you filter out all of those big flavors and mellow it out, velvet it out, I would drink this by itself. Absolutely. This by itself, ideal. Maybe not this. Maybe not this. And definitely not this. I would not drink this by itself. This is too harsh. It's not boozy enough to sort of complement all the other big flavors. This right here is just a touch. It's kind of plain. A lot of lime, and we kind of miss everything else. This is the winner. Oh. If you are not velveting your own Falernum, then you are not making Falernum correctly. We have now velveted our Falernum. We have made it completely shelf stable. This Falernum that we have made right here will stay on a shelf for the rest of your life. I know that when Oscar Wilde died, apparently without, one of my favorite things is Last Words. I love Last Words. Pancho Villa's Last Words were "Tell them I said something." That's one of my favorite versions of Last Words. Apparently, his last words of Oscar Wilde's were either the curtains go or I do, which I think is what a great bit of last words from him. But when he died, apparently he had thousands of bottles of milk punch just lying around because they last forever and do great stuff. I think we did it, guys. That's what I got for you. We have velveted our Falernum. I think, in my opinion, I'm going to probably go through, remake all the Falernums at some point and velvet them by myself. I do think that the clarified Falernum is the way to go. It stands out in the cocktail. It also lasts longer. So do we double the spices and then milk wash? Yeah. I think you can probably put a few more spices in there, Bon, and bump it up. But you know what? I don't think you need to. I really don't think you need to. I think that this one exists by itself. I think this becomes more than just a cocktail ingredient. This becomes sort of its own thing, as well as a cocktail ingredient. It definitely stands up in this cocktail, even with other big flavors, lime and triple sec. I'm still getting that in this. I am not getting that much of the flavor in this one, which is the sorry, which one's which? I'll be honest, hard to tell. I probably put too much of both of them in there. I've also been drinking big things of Falernum. But listen, the tongue is tough. Listen, guys, that's what we got. We in the future, we are going to be velveting all of our Falernum. We're going to be using this method in order to make our Falernum shelf stable. Find a Falernum recipe that you like, and I promise you, run it through some milk, and you will be having a much better time with your Falernum. I tried my very best, guys, to get the VIP room going tonight. It was not going to be. It is echoing in my ear, and unless you want to see me go absolutely bonkers, we won't be doing a VIP room tonight. But I promise you that is the next thing we are working on. We will have the VIP room back and up, and then we will start having guests again. A lot of you have been telling me about guests. We will be having some guests back on here soon. So totally off topic. What's your favorite style of rum? Jamaican, I think. I think that low carb cocktail guy. My favorite style of rum. Let me take that back. My favorite style of rum is agricole. I love agricole. There just aren't enough agricoles in my life to really be sort of hanging out, like having a collection of agricoles. I need to find more agricole rums. The rum that does the best for me is Jamaican. It seems to work in everything, but I love the agricoles. Why are we yelling "Oh Kim"? Oh, because Kim is Kyle's lawyer. Okay. As always, guys, thank you so much for showing up. We will hang out some other time. We'll be back here. Ooh, we will not be back here Tuesday. We will have a show. I'll let you guys know. I will not be able to do a show. It's going to be a weird week. My brother's getting married, so I have to, got to be around for that. Yes. Oh, and happy birthday to Mrs. Tiki Tom. Oh, happy birthday, Mrs. Tiki Tom. Should we sing real quick? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. Tiki Tom. Happy birthday to you. We've done it. Hopefully you all sang right along with me. And that's what I got. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, what do we say? Is that what we say? It's a very silly thing to say. As always, what do we say? Are you Dr. Jinga Janga? And then right after that, once we find out who Dr. Jinga Janga is, then we can say bye to the rest of you. Thank you guys so much for showing up. We will be back here. I will let you know. If we're not back here live on Tuesday, we'll have a video up on Tuesday. I will do something, and then we'll probably do something Wednesday and Thursday. That's the best I can do. Until then, bye, bye, bye. Goodbye. Sorry, I came back. I didn't mean to. Hit the wrong button. Since we're back here, I'm just going to show you guys what we're up to. This right here, you see all that buildup? A lot of people will throw out the napkins here. We don't want to do that. We want to keep that buildup going. That's what's filtering our stuff. I didn't need to come back. But as always, I thank you guys for showing up. And oh God, Bill. Bye.
Okay. Could you wire me me a bus ticket. I'll pay you back honest.